All right, everybody, this is going to be my official Texas versus Oklahoma reaction. Now, I know I am incredibly late on this. Like, when I mean late, I mean like Wednesday, October 16th, 8 p.m. late. Uh, Doctor's appointments, hospital, all that stuff. I'm going to spare you all the crap, but that's been going crazy, and obviously, I have not been able to make videos. And speaking of that, let me go ahead and turn on that real quick. So, look, hey, as you can see, Battle for the Golden Hat, and I love this hat that I got there. This is just like a really cool. They had like a rope version. I thought the dad hat was way cooler. But so the Oklahoma Sooners. Woo! Hey, who told you OU sucks? This guy did. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna be talking about that today. Yeah, I love a good old OU sucks beer. So how bad does Oklahoma suck? That's really the question that needs to be asked, and they might be worse than I thought. They might be worse than I thought. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this part because like the whole bit. I gotta do this. We beat the shit out of that team, and we won. How about that? How about that? Yeah. How about that? Okay. So Sooner fans, not done here. I actually had. So here's the deal. I have seen Oklahoma fans coming around on the idea that their offense is horrible, like just bad, bottom of the barrel, bad of all of the NCAA. Uh, it's nice that there's like the 5 stages of depression, and they're kind of like in the acceptance phase and the realization phase, and just kind of understanding, hey, we're about to be going through it. And here's what I'm gonna say about Oklahoma. This ain't getting better anytime soon. Like, you're on a 2 to 3 year project rebuild at this point with how the offensive line looks and how I won't say the defensive line because the defensive line actually doesn't look bad, but the offensive line, that ain't that's just not Division One. Forget about Division One, or like let alone SEC. Uh, and that's the other thing. Oklahoma, y'all are just a downright disgrace for the SEC. Okay, Texas has held their weight coming into the SEC. We got standards to uphold here. Y'all aren't holding up the standard. Y'all are a terrible football program, and y'all need to do better. Y'all need to represent us Big 12 newbies better. Now, and I honestly, if you had asked 90% of people, would have said, hey, if you had asked them 3 years ago, 90% of people would have said, hey, Oklahoma's going to be a better team without a doubt than Texas going into the SEC and in the first year of the SEC. Oklahoma might, like this is actually not trolling. Oklahoma might not make a bowl game. And I've been telling people this for a while. You look at their games left. They got South Carolina. That's not going to be just some gimme game. South Carolina is going to be a hard game for them. Ole Miss, that's going to be a hard game for them. Ole Miss isn't like, look, these aren't amazing teams, but neither is Oklahoma. You see that shit? Maine is literally their last, like, for sure win. And that's win number 5. After that, you get Missouri. After that, you get Alabama. After that, you get LSU. Sure, you can win one of those games. Sure. Is it guaranteed? No, not at all. Oklahoma coming into the SEC year one, going 5-7 would just be hilarious. Texas fans will be running around. Oklahoma fans are in hiding. There are very few Oklahoma fans that are like actually still out there and actually still active. The entire week leading really 2 weeks. So we had two bye week. We had a bye week before the game. Bye week, nothing. Chirps, crickets, nothing. You couldn't hear anything. Then the talk for Oklahoma fans started on Thursday. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, just confidence comes on Twitter like, "Oh, we're gonna beat Texas." All this crap, and what? Where were you the last week and a half? And so that goes to the game. Okay, so now that I'm kind of done, look, half trolling, like legit serious though at the same time. Oklahoma's terrible. Offensive line is terrible. Like, I mean all those things I say, but I'm kind of trolling saying it at the same time. Now, onto the game. Oklahoma fans might be, well, and I'm not sure. because I have my mentions turned off to, or I have my notifications to where I only really get notifications from people that follow me, or I follow them, and I'm sure my mentions were just flooded in the first quarter of Oklahoma when we were down 0-3. I never lost faith. Not at one point. I mean, so I went with a Ghost of 40 Acres, or Ghost Vibes. I forget what his exact handle is on Twitter, but we do go. He does the Ghost and Friends on YouTube, and great guy, great road dog. Uh, he asked me. He was like, "Hey man, like in the middle of the first quarter, he's like, hey, are you worried about this? We're down 0-3. Are you worried about this?" No. Like I was like, I still have confidence. I still have full confidence. If we get down to like the end of the half and we're down 0-3, I'll start worrying then, possibly. I had too much confidence in this defense to be able to go out there and continue to do what they had shown that they were doing all game long. This Texas team in the first quarter wanted to lose the football game. They did. They wanted to lose. They were doing things that say, hey, we're trying to lose this game right now. That's what we're doing. And I don't want to say as soon as the second quarter hits, a switch flips, but they get the score with Gunnar Helm. Okay. A little bit flips. Then you have the Trey Wisener run where he fumbles the ball. By far play of the game. Silas Bolden going out there, recovers the fumble in the end zone. Basically, Danny Stutzman is running to the ball. Could be lollygagging, kind of looks like it. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say he was lollygagging because that's one hell of an accusation to say on a guy. But he was going out there. Obviously, he's not nearly as fast as Silas Bolden, or wasn't on that play. Silas Bolden dives in front of him, gets the ball, secures the touchdown for Texas. And it was big because that was a big run where, okay, here's a big play for Texas. And in the same play, momentum flips. Texas lost the ball in the end zone. It's about to be a touchback, and they're about to get the ball in the 20. Oklahoma is. And then in the same play, Silas Bolden jumps on the ball, and now a Texas touchdown again. Momentum went. You gotta love football. Like, that's one of the reasons why people love football, especially college football, so much. Momentum swings. Maybe basketball. I don't know. I don't know a sport that has a momentum swing like that. Like baseball, you can score 4 times in one play, and I say that all the time. But I don't know that a momentum swing can happen as like just back and forth as it does in football, in baseball. Momentum swings can be larger in baseball, in my opinion, but just with how fast they occur, I don't think it can compare to football. Now, so you go from that to what does Texas do after that? We kick the ball off. First play fumble. Okay, what does Texas do after that? First play touchdown from Trey Wisener, who just fumbled the ball. The coaching staff goes out there, trust Trey Wisener again, say, hey, here, tote the rock. We believe in you. And he rewards them with a even better run that he just had the run before, which was a very impressive run. So really, that right there, if Silas Bolden does not recover that fumble for a touchdown, we're talking about a 7-3 ball game going into the half, most likely. Maybe Oklahoma gets a field goal. Maybe on the rare chance Malik Muhammad slips on the play and scores, and Oklahoma scores, and they're up 10-3, or they're up 10-7, or they're down 1 point, 7-6. But instead, Silas Bolden recovering that fumble, we go up 21-3 in the half. It was one of those big plays that meant a lot. And then we come out in the second half, and then that allows us to, play from ahead like we normally do. And the defense just, the offense was not getting, this is where I was like, I had so much confidence leading up to the game. We were talking about one of the worst offenses in college football going up against one of the worst defenses, one of the best defenses in college football. if not the best defense in college football. I literally at that point I could not care. I could care less about any rivalry game. And oh, it's the Red River, and everything's always going to be close, isn't it? No, not at all. Are you kidding me? You thought that shit was going to do anything against Texas? No, not at all. So let's look at what they did against Texas. Team stats. They were 4 for 15 on third downs, which is actually I think a slight bit better than what they normally do. Fourth down, 1 for 2. Total yards, 237. Texas had 229 yards passing. We almost had more yards just passing alone than their entire team did. They had 140 yards passing, 148. And look, Quinn didn't have an amazing day. That's one of the other things like that. So that's where it really shows how much the defense won this game. Obviously, the offense did some things, right? But the defense getting fumbles, getting the ball back to the offense, just not letting anything happen. There might have been one or two big plays, and when I'm talking about big plays, there was not a single play of over 15 yards or more for Oklahoma all game. So when we're talking about big plays, think about the ceiling at 15 yards. Like that's there's your big play ceiling, Oklahoma. They were averaging, I mean, what is it? 2.3 yards per rush, 39 rushing attempts, 89 yards, 4.9 yards per pass. Like I said, 148 yards passing. 7 penalties, 49 yards. Texas, 5 penalties, 57 yards. 2 fumbles lost. I mean, they lost the turnover battle. And this is a team that turns over the ball a good bit for a college football team. Oklahoma does. So really kind of that's all my like general thoughts on the game. Now I just want to kind of talk about some individual players. One, how could you not talk about Quintravian Wisener? Quintravian Wisener, I've been a Jaden Blue homer. Those of y'all that have listened know I've been pounding on the table, just standing on it for Jaden Blue. If he is still considered a running back 1, it's got to be running back 1B. Right now, Quintravian Wisener has to be running back 1 or running back 1A. But at the very least, running back 1A. Just the vision that he's running with. And here's the other deal. So this is where I've said that the reason why you want Jaden Blue and why he's number 1, running back number 1. What he does to defenses in the pass game. Trey Wisener does pretty close to that. He got clocked at 20.9 miles an hour, which is not slow. That's actually really fast, especially considering a running back. Like, you don't need to be freaky fast as a running back. You just need to be fast enough. But it doesn't hurt to be freaky fast. Now, the other thing is pass protection. If you're going to play for Tashard Choice, you're going to be able to pass protect. That's just a given. You're going to have to pass protect. And the deal is he can pass pro right there next to Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue's a really good pass protector, and so is Trey Wisener. And then also he's a good catcher of the football. He can catch targets. When targets are presented his way, he catches them. He's reliable. And ultimately, that's what you want out of a running back. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like committee backfields is because you want a reliable guy. You want something that you can rely on. If you got 3 dudes that you're filtering in and out, which guy is the guy that you rely on? And does it change? Does that opinion change between multiple people? You don't know. But it's just kind of, there's like a team mentality of, hey, the rest of these 10 dudes have faith in this one guy back here. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have faith in Jaden Blue. That's far from what I'm saying. I actually think that some of the runs that Quintravian Wisener had were blocked a little bit better than some of the ones that Jaden Blue had. But I think that you cannot ignore the fact that Trey Wisener just has such elite vision that sometimes these plays aren't blocked as well, similar to Jaden Blue. But it just doesn't matter with Quintravian Wisener because he's going to be able to take advantage of every last little uh opening. You know, trying to had a little bit of brain fart there, but so this is I just want to touch on Quintravion Wisner's start. Quinn Ewers, I think too many people were hyping up the and I mean I was kind of a little bit part of this, but I wasn't doing it too much. But too many people were expecting the big game. You know, Quinn Ewers returning from injury. When he returned from Alabama, the Alabama injury, he was great. When he returned from the Houston injury, he was great. He was a little rusty. He looked like a guy that had missed a couple games and was recovering from a let's face it, when you're throwing the football, this is not an injury that happens to football players a lot. This is a primarily a baseball injury. And I forget the other sport that it happens is primarily, but it's primarily an injury where you're mainly throwing a ball. And the reality is when you're throwing the football, that you're going to be using a lot of your core. So for him to come back from that, uh, the rust, I'm willing to put up with some of the rust. Any fans that are saying we need to put in Arch Manning, we need let's calm down now. Let's calm down now. Okay, I don't. It has to. It's got to look really bad for me to say, hey, let's put Arch Manning in. Uh, and even then, I'm not talking about a time where we're saying we're benching Quinn Ewers. That stuff, that talk is going to happen throughout the season unless Quinn Ewers goes out there and looks like a Heisman candidate, and it's just going to be ridiculous every single time. Uh, Next guy that you got to mention, Gunnar Helm. That dude is legit. I put out a. Let me go ahead and pull up the chart here real quick. Gunnar Helm is he's playing at a really good level right now. Tight end. So 2007, Jermichael Finley, 23 receptions, 336 yards, 1 touchdown. That's the best season that we've had from a Texas tight end. And this is through the first 6 games of their season. 2004, David Thomas, 13 receptions, 291 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2023, Jatavian Sanders last year, 14 receptions, 291 yards, 1 touchdown through the first 6 games. Gunnar Helm is sitting at 21 receptions, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gunnar Helm is a legit this is a legit ball player. This is a guy that has really gone out there and kind of proved a point. I mentioned it before. I love that he's talking shit to, especially when you're going into the Red River is like going into an away game because there's all the Oklahoma fans right there, and we're coming out, and especially when we're coming out in the icy whites, it just feels like a road environment. He's talking crap. he's like he's mouthing off to people. Same for Michigan. This is a tone setter for this football team, and he's one of the most reliable guys that we have on the team. Ryan Wingo was balling out. He was making some good plays. It could have had a far better day if Quinn was on point. DeAndre Moore continues to fill the Jordan Whittington role. Continues to do the stuff that really he does the thankless things, and he's also running out there on special teams. Now he did have a penalty on special teams, but if you saw him react to that, this is a guy that cares, and I'm not really I'm with a guy like him. I'm not even gonna focus on a penalty or anything like that. Matthew Golden, only 1 reception, but hey, I that was a very for those that remember, it was kind of caught over the middle, starts to work up over to the left side. That was a nice reception. Jaden Blue, I feel really bad for him because I feel like he's just right there on a few of these runs, and he's going to break one. I know I'm a broken record when I say this, but he's going to break one soon. He's going to break one loose, and I think when he does, his confidence is going to go up, and we're going to see his play be more consistent as we hope. And then Quinn Ewers, the rushing touchdown. I mean, look, what a great day! What a great day it was on Saturday. Was driving home. You gotta love driving home not pissed off. You gotta love you gotta love a 3 hour trip to Austin, not pissed off, and especially when it's something like this, where especially like in my for what I do with every play videos, when we lose, that's tough. It's tough to sit here on the computer and just cut up the plays, knowing that it's coming, right? Knowing that the bad play is coming. Think back to Oklahoma State. We're ahead by 21 points. Thinking there's there's no way we lose this game. Like all the games that we had lost with big leads in the fourth quarter in 2021, 2022. Uh, you just sit there. You're like, I'm cutting up the game. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way we lose this game. I've already watched it. I know we lose. I mean, I can see the box score right here on my left. The loss is coming. But I'm sitting there cutting up the game, and I'm like, how do we lose this game? And it's just nice knowing that we didn't have to go through that this year. So I hope y'all had a great time. For those of y'all that I met, I really had a great time meeting y'all. Y'all are awesome. I think there were some college kids behind me. Well, really in front of me. But we got the Oklahoma Sucks beer. Got that out. This is my last one. Enjoying it tonight. We're moving on to Georgia. I will have out sights and sounds. So this is the other thing. I have a bunch of sights and sounds from all the weeks, really. Week 1 through Mississippi State. I'm gonna release those sometime next week, maybe on Sunday. I'm gonna put out the sights and sounds either tomorrow or on Friday for Oklahoma. So the people that I talked to, y'all will be in that video. But yeah, hope you all have a great day. And as always, Oklahoma sucks. And I'm not ending off the video on Oklahoma sucks because we don't do that shit here. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. And as always, hook 'em!